Hello and welcome to this e-training module. In the previous module you saw me create a spatial model that you can see here on the left that took in a LiDAR point cloud and used some of the attribute information available with that point cloud to strip out just the ground bare earth points, which is what this selection does in the model. It produces a bare earth set of terrain points instead. What we're going to do now is extend this model and actually pull in a color aerial photograph and use the colors of the aerial photo to color encode each point with that true color information. Still retains the height attribute information as well, but adds another way to visualize your point cloud by giving it a true color appearance if you display it using that particular option. So let's go ahead and start expanding our existing model to add that capability. So if we want to use an aerial photograph to color encode our points, obviously the first thing we need is actually to bring that aerial photo information into the model. So let's scroll up into our favorites in the operators list, select the raster input and drag and drop that onto our canvas. Turn off my preview, get rid of that window for the moment so we can see what we're doing. So we've now got a raster input, double click the file name, navigate to where my data is stored and select my TIFF file that is an author-rectified 3-band color aerial photograph of the same area as my point cloud, or a similar area as my point cloud. Obviously we need some overlap to take the colors and color encode those points that do overlap with the air photo. And then we want to scroll down back to our point cloud category of operators over here in the operators listing on the right, and we want to encode our point cloud. So let's grab that particular operator and drag and drop it into our model. At the moment, obviously we're going to do some more processing, so we'll disconnect the existing connection to the point cloud output. We'll disconnect the preview as well because we want to preview our new results, and go ahead and hook this information up. Obviously we need a point cloud to come in to get encoded with new information, so that'll be our filtered bare earth points, and we need a raster, so we're going to go ahead and feed that information in as well. We then feed, once we do the operation, point cloud, we want to preview it and we want to feed it out to an output file, and we'll give that a new name, bare earth color encoded. Click OK, and then next we'll define how we're going to do the encoding. Just to tidy our model up, if you select the point cloud encode operator, we don't actually need this selection criteria port. It's an optional port, it's white, so it's not required, and I'm not going to hook anything up to it or use that option at the moment. So we can turn that port off. Over here in the properties dialog, in the show column, you can click in that particular cell to hide or display particular ports. You'll see there's some hidden ports that we didn't see previously that we could turn on and enable if so desired. But we're just going to leave it like that. So basically we're saying bring in the point clouds and use the color ortho image to color encode those points, keeping all the other attribute information that's on there as well. At this point you probably want to go ahead and save your model, save spatial model as, give it a new name perhaps. This is my bare earth points model. We'll call it bare earth points with encoding. Save a new model, and now let's go ahead and run this. So come up here to the spatial modeler tab, in the execute group click run, and we'll see the model basically go ahead and start to encode those points and write out a new output file, which is the LAS format, LAS format. We could have selected LAS, the zip compressed format, if we'd so desired. Probably should have, I'd already changed the output file name. Writing the points out can take a little bit of time, so that's going to go ahead and process. It shouldn't take too long, and once it's finished we'll go ahead and take a look at the results. And just a reminder what's going on here. We're basically taking an original LAS file, stripping out just the ground points using the delete point operator, and then we're encoding using the point cloud encode operator to add colors from a true color ortho image and write those new points out to a file. So let's go ahead and get rid of our spatial model now. We don't need that. Come over to the Home tab and add a new 2D view. Use the recent list, file recent. Our bare earth color encoded LAS is on that list because we recently created it. Now you can see by default, rather than displaying, if I go over to the point cloud tab, rather than displaying color encoded by height, which I could still look at by elevation, the elevation information is still there. We can now actually display by red, green, blue, increase the point size, and you have basically a point cloud that looks very much like a color air photo. And you see large holes in the data because we've removed the trees and the buildings and so on, so we just have ground information but color encoded as a true color RGB, as well as having the height information and other types of information on there. So you can go ahead if you wanted and on the point cloud tab use the 3D view show 3D. That will go ahead and display the data. We can come here under the 3D view and perhaps do a no blending option and go ahead and navigate around our bare earth color encoded digital elevation model. So there we go. That's how to use the spatial model editor to create models that manipulate LAS files. Point cloud information doesn't necessarily need to be LiDAR, it can be any type of point cloud information in various formats. So the spatial modeler isn't just for raster processing, raster GIS and image processing functions. You can use vector features, and point cloud information is processable as well, and you can create combined models, bring in point clouds and raster data and vector data and analyze those all together. So hopefully that has been of use. And if you're interested in more advanced processing using the spatial model editor, there are other e-training modules available, such as the normalizing elevation data and height above ground in point cloud data. It's available on the website. This is the link. Search on the name as well and you should be able to find it. So I hope you've enjoyed this particular e-training module, and I hope you'll watch some of the other ones. And thank you very much and stay safe.